signed to Polo.
I was signed to Polo and Timbaland.
Correct.
Yep, in a joint venture at Scope Records.
Yep.
And I was young. I was super young. I felt I had no power. I felt I had no choice. I remember more. Was it days after when it leaked? Like days after I did it, but he promised me that wouldn't happen, so it leaked. And that was that. And I protected him. I protected the girl who wrote it, who went on to become famous. I protected everyone in the story, so I had to eat that.
That's what it felt like to me as an outsider looking in.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats.
Hey y'all, we finna talk about Miss Keri, baby, because she just came clean about being blackballed by Jay Z, and she's got everyone shook. For years, people have been whispering about the real reason Keri's career crashed, and it's all connected to a heated rivalry with Beyoncé. But here's the twist. Keri is now revealing shocking proof that the real reason her career tanked might be because Beyoncé and Jay Z were secretly behind it. And that's not all, because it turns out the whole beef was all Jay Z's fault in the first place. Now, y'all know there have been rumors about Beyoncé going after Jay Z's little side chicks and ruining their lives, right? Well, turns out Miss Keri was one of them side pieces, and she allegedly had a little something going on with Jay Z, y'all. Miss Keri got all the receipts, and trust me, this is about to get wild. So stick around, get your popcorn, get your tea, pour a little Henny and apple juice up in it, and let's get into it, because it's about to get spicy. Fire so, it's looking like Keri Hilson is sick and tired of letting y'all run with the narrative that she deserved to be blackballed by Beyoncé, because she just came out to set the whole record straight. Keri has been making rounds these past couple of days after an explosive interview on The Breakfast Club. During the interview, she spoke up about her beef with Beyoncé for the first time in a long time, and she had the internet buzzing. Now, for a long time, there's been this narrative that she was jealous of Beyoncé, and that's why she dissed her unprovoked. But in the interview, Keri denied that was the case, and she didn't stop there. She also claimed...
It's a regret. It's a regret, but not in the way that people would think, because that's a song that I actually didn't write. Those are not my words. I was on tour. Polo wanted me to do a remix to Turning Me On. He had produced the record, and I wasn't, because I was on tour with Lil Wayne. I wasn't able to lay anything down. He had been on me for a couple of weeks about we need to do a remix. Okay, so I take off. It wasn't happening quick enough for him. I take off, we fly in, and he had another writer in our camp at the time. He had her write this. So he played it for me, this is the remix, because I'm thinking I'm coming in to go write a remix to Turn Me On. The whole time I had been writing concepts, what would I say? How do I even remix this? What do I want to? So I had lines and I had, things that I would have said, but I come into the studio and he plays me this verse, and I'm automatically,
she claimed that she had even started writing her own verse for the remix, but Paulo da Don straight up threatened to end her career right then and there if she didn't do what she was told.
Exactly. So I tried to fight him on it, and I began writing my own. That's what I did with my time there, but I want to be careful with the word I use. It was quite forceful, you know what I mean?
In an executive artist way?
Yeah, in an executive artist way only. Involving others and kind of threatening my career in a real sense. You're not coming, because my album wasn't out yet. So it was you're not coming out if you don't do this. And the mistake that I made was not continuing to fight. But I was in tears, I was crying. I was adamant that I did not want to do that.
For people that don't know, you were signed to Polo.
I was signed to Polo and Timbaland.
Correct.
Yep, in a joint venture at Interscope Records.
Yep.
And I was young. I was super young. I felt I had no power. I felt I had no choice.
But to make matters even worse, she claimed that Paulo deceived her. After days of pleading with him, he finally agreed to shelve the song, promising it would never see the light of day. But the next thing we knew, he leaked the
days after? He remembers more because he was there. He remembers more. Was it days after when it leaked? It leaked days after I did it, but he promised me that wouldn't happen, so it leaked. And that was that. And I protected him. I protected the girl that wrote it, who went on to become famous. I protected everyone in the story. So I had to eat that. And I am still eating it to this day. Because I'm getting asked about that 15, however many years, 16, 17 years later. It's like I've worn the scarlet letter, really.
This isn't even as crazy as it gets, because fans were convinced there's definitely more to the story than meets the eye. See, Paulo de Don was making money from Keri, so it only made sense that he'd go above and beyond to protect his investment, right? So why on earth would he sabotage her like that? Well, word on the streets is he allegedly did it because Beyoncé put him up to it.
And why?
Allegedly, because she found out that Keri had something going on with Jay. Now, we don't know if Miss Keri Baby was really messing with Jay Z, or if Beyoncé was just being paranoid, but honestly, it wouldn't be that surprising. Jay Z allegedly has a long list of side pieces, including other artists in the industry. So, imagining he had something to do with Miss Keri Baby? Not exactly far-fetched. And I just know President Obama and Mrs. Obama for including me in this very special day. Okay, that was random, but moving on. The theory that Beyoncé blackballed Keri because of Jay Z isn't too wild to believe. But before we dive deeper into the affair rumors, let's rewind and talk about the actual Keri Hilson versus Beyoncé beef and how it all spiraled over the years. To provide some context, the situation dates back to 2009 when a remix of Keri's song, Turning Me On, was leaked online. The song immediately sparked controversy as many fans believed it included subliminal jabs at Beyoncé. Despite Keri never mentioning her by name, the lyrics struck a nerve, especially with the Beyhive, who quickly interpreted the lines as thinly veiled insults. One line in particular drew the most attention. Your vision's cloudy if you think that you're the best / she can dance, she can sing, but she needs to move it to the left. That phrase, move it to the left, was widely seen as a clear reference to Beyoncé's chart-topping hit, Irreplaceable. Y'all remember. To the left / everything you own in a box to the left. This led many people to believe that Keri was challenging Beyoncé's status in the industry and even questioning her talent. Although Keri never confirmed the line was about Beyoncé, the damage was already done. The backlash from Beyoncé's loyal fanbase, the Beyhive, was immediate and intense, and honestly, it never really stopped. That song sparked the beginning of a long, messy period of public tension and industry backlash for Keri. It affected her reputation, her brand, and her career, fueling a narrative that followed her for years. Now, the song also included a few lines that fans thought might have been aimed at Ciara, too. But in a 2009 interview, Keri made it clear she wasn't throwing shade at either of them. She specifically said that the lyrics weren't directed at Beyoncé or Ciara, and that people were just reading too much into it. Interview, I don't know, it's giving throwing rocks and hiding your hands. Things flared up again in 2011 when Keri stirred the pot at the Soul Train Music Awards. She was handed a copy of Juicy magazine, which featured Beyoncé and Jay Z on the cover, and she flat out refused to pose with it. That moment quickly sparked fresh drama and had everyone thinking the feud was far from over. You want to hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mag. Even though Beyoncé never publicly spoke on the situation or responded to Keri by name, rumors started swirling that she was quietly working behind the scenes to keep Keri's career from moving forward. People in the industry began whispering that Beyoncé was using her influence to shut doors and block opportunities for Keri. And at the same time, the Beyhive took matters into their own hands. They started going after Keri online with non-stop hate, and even confronted her in person at times. The backlash just wouldn't let up. By 2013, 2 years after the Juicy magazine incident, the pressure had gotten so intense that Keri had to go on social media and make a public plea, asking the Beyhive to stop harassing her and let her live her life in peace. She tweeted, "You have no idea what your hateful words could do to someone's spirit. Years of verbal strangers all day long. Enough is enough." And while Keri continued to deny that she had dissed anyone directly, she dropped a few cryptic hints that suggested there was more to the story. She didn't name names, but she implied that something had happened behind the scenes, something that pushed her to react the way she did at the Soul Train Awards. The way she worded it made people think Beyoncé might have done something that rubbed her the wrong way, even if Keri never said it outright. It was subtle, but just enough to keep the rumors going. Here's what she said in another tweet. "It's too much. Please, is everything I tweet going to be intentionally misinterpreted as a statement about someone or drama I know nothing about? You have no idea what your hateful words can do to someone's spirit. Years of verbal strangers all day long. Enough is enough. I'm here for my fans. I'm stronger than you imagine, but waking up and going to bed to your ugliness is just too much. Kids, I get it. Okay, you can stop now. As far as whatever you're really mad about, I have my reasons. It's been years. Just chalk it up to your ignorance of my reality and let it go. As for my mistakes, God has dealt with me. But y'all know the attacks did not stop. Keri kept getting trolled online, dealing with constant hate and negativity. And things got even more intense. She later revealed that some of Beyoncé's fans actually took things to the streets, like literally. She said there were times when people would throw Beyoncé CDs at her while she was just walking outside. At that point, it wasn't just stan behavior. It was harassment. The situation had clearly gone too far, showing just how extreme things had become between Keri and the Beyhive. She tweeted, "It's one thing that they would attack me on Twitter, but it's disrespectful to have the bravery and audacity to throw Beyoncé albums at me while I'm on the street." And while she was dealing with that drama, Ciara and her fans came for her too. She was basically fighting a war on both fronts. Ciara even dropped a diss track of her own, one that everybody assumed was aimed straight at Keri. Interview, however, Keri denied that she was shading Ciara either. She even called into an Atlanta radio station to clear the air, saying, "I just want to tell Ciara, it's not about you. People are just reading way too far into it. People take things and make it what they want it to be. I wasn't taking shots at nobody." And Ciara replied with grace, saying, "She took it all as love. Cool, I guess. Everybody is here to listen to what Keri said, and I take it for that. From my end, it will always have been nothing but love for you. I was very happy for you to get where you are, not get where you are, but..." Then Keri responded, "I know that's sincere. It is the same coming from me. When I tell you that I'm proud of you, I've always meant that, and I always do mean that. I've watched it from ground zero with you." She also doubled down on her claim that she never dissed Beyoncé or Ciara. "I'm not jealous of anybody's career. We are all doing the same thing. Keri's on my album. I've worked with Ciara many times. I'm a fan of Beyoncé's." In the years that followed, Keri made a real effort to distance herself from the drama and keep things peaceful. But the damage had already been done. Her career never fully recovered, and she quietly stepped out of the spotlight for a long time. Then in 2020, Keri opened up in a Raw interview and dropped a bombshell. She repeated the same thing she later said again during her Breakfast Club interview. She claimed she had actually been pressured into releasing the track that people believed was aimed at Beyoncé. On top of that, she revealed she had received serious threats during the height of all the backlash. It was the first time she truly pulled back the curtain on how dark things had gotten behind the scenes. And trust me, it was not pretty. Interview, and to this day, many fans still believe the whole situation was a calculated plan to ruin Keri's career, all because she was seen as a threat to Beyoncé. And it wasn't just Beyoncé's fans speculating that she played a part in Keri's downfall. People close to the situation began fueling that same narrative. One of them was Uncle Ron, a man who claimed to have worked as Beyoncé's personal bodyguard back in the day. Before his passing, Uncle Ron made waves with a viral TikTok video where he openly accused Beyoncé and Jay Z of sabotaging the careers of multiple artists over the years. And in that video, he specifically mentioned Keri, suggesting that her career struggles were far from coincidence. Interview: The Beyhive didn't waste a single second jumping in to defend Beyoncé, quickly labeling Uncle Ron a liar and claiming he never worked as her bodyguard. They were quick to dismiss his accusations, but then Media Takeout stepped in with receipts. According to them, Uncle Ron had indeed worked as security for several major celebrities, not just Beyoncé. And to back it up, they dug up old photos from a 2004 fashion event showing Uncle Ron standing right next to Beyoncé. The photos weren't just random, they were proof. Proof that he wasn't some internet troll making up wild stories for clout. It gave his words some weight and raised even more questions about what really went down behind the scenes. Fast forward to today, and even though it's been years since Keri's fallout with Beyoncé, her career still hasn't bounced back.